Looking back at the aftermath of the game between Jackson State and Alabama State for Alabama State's homecoming, leaves me scratching my head wondering, God dog, how do I give you guys the post-game breakdown of everything that took place in this game? I mean, there was a lot to really unpack with this as far as how tough Alabama State came out in this game, trying to let Jackson State know that they were here to play. Guys, we're going to get into it right after this. You know, it's your favorite coach back at it again. 10 toes down, about to tell you how it all went down. This is Tomorrow Leader Sports Network with your host, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can get all upcoming videos. For all my leaders out there, welcome back. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and share these videos. And tap in a friend or two and tell them to come on in. It's nothing but positive vibes. We're just having a good time talking about HBCU sports. And don't forget, you can follow us on all social media platforms. The links are listed down below in the description. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get on in this thing and get straight to it. And don't forget, guys, we're on the road to 10K. Because without y'all, it wouldn't be no me. And I appreciate all of you guys for rocking with your favorite coach. So let's go ahead, get over this daggone finish line, get to 10K, and we're going to keep on pushing this thing higher and higher because, like I said, guys, you guys have been enjoying the content that I'm bringing to you, and I'm going to keep on bringing it to you because I ain't done. It's a lot more for us to do, and, guys, we just going to keep going up and up and up. But we're going to get into this Alabama State versus Jackson State game right now because it leaves me wondering, why in the world did so many of y'all come at my neck? Y'all like, oh, coach, we gonna get at you. That's wrong. Y'all was coming after my neck when I gave that prediction of 31-10. Y'all didn't want to hear it. Why? I need somebody to tell me why. Y'all get them comments down below and tell me why y'all didn't want to believe what the heck I was trying to tell y'all. Listen, I sat and I looked at the game from the spring as well as the game last season. And both of those games were really tight. Jackson State lost the first time in the spring when Coach Prime was he became the head coach. They lost 28-35. That's when we saw Coach Prime up there on the screen on the jumbotron with the jerry curl. That was he said it looks wet. He said it was dry, but it looked wet. All I'm saying is, hey, look, that kind of sparked this off as far as what was going on, how we can expect so many fireworks in these games between these two teams every time they lock horns. So y'all can expect this from years to come. But then this game here, I'm sitting there like, man, okay, what's really going to go down with this one? After looking back at last year, as I stated before in the previous video, Miles Crowley had the opportunity for them to put more points on the board, throwing passes to receivers that, A, the receiver could not locate the one that was in the end zone, and B, the daggone receiver didn't catch the one that he threw to him that was in towards the back corner of the end zone. That would have added an additional 14 points on the board. But you know what? We always say if was a fifth, if was a fifth, then we all be drunk. So we already know them ifs didn't turn into points. And that scoreboard was 28-7. Move on to today. And what do we see? We saw Alabama State defense come out there. They played hard. They wanted to make sure that they moved QB1 Shedeur Sanders around in the pocket, not allowing him to get his footing together. Throw the ball all over the field to the Jackson State Tigers receivers. Now, we got QB1 Davis over there for Alabama State, in which he came out there on the field, and he led the team down the field the first time they got the ball and was able to put 6 points on the board. Unfortunately, they miscued on the extra point kick. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this game, and I'm not understanding why Alabama State's defense was able to stop Jackson State offense several times in that first quarter. Matter of fact, Jackson State went without scoring no points in the first quarter at all. But Alabama State could not get that running game going. They relied too much on Davis to make plays. And guess what? Davis got punished. Davis got cracked by daggone Aubrey Miller. You knew it was coming. And I said it in the pregame. I said, they're going to make sure they keep his behind inside. Yeah, they let him get loose on the outside several times. And you know what? After that, they made sure them ends stood tall, forcing his behind back inside. And what ended up happening? Aubrey Miller came free from daggone one of them linemen, not paying attention to what's going on, and they lit that poor young man up. But I'm kind of confused because he played the rest of the second half and then didn't come back out in the third quarter, which further leads me to believe there's some Fuganaga going on in the pooch here as far as what we saw with that whole theatrical situation after the game between Coach Prime and Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. That's just my take on that. I'm still not buying the whole film. Oh, he disrespected me. I don't want to hear that. That's a bunch of bull. It should have been more so of Eddie Robinson Jr. giving his team they props on going out there and busting their hump in this game. 94, Nelson Jordan for Alabama State, along with Colton, number 1 for Alabama State, bust their humps out there on the field, along with, I think it was number 4 and number 9, Gaddy. They played their behinds off in this game in which they were able to pressure Shedeur, they was able to sack Shedeur, and they was able to get this man off his spot, not allowing him to throw that ball up and down the field. But here we're talking about some freaking disrespect. Oh, he walked on my sideline. Oh, he was talking about, cut it. Cut it out now. Cut it out. Enough is enough. All I'm saying is this. Those young men should have been given their props as far as how hard they played. Not only that, you bring Miles Crowley into the game, who had not played all daggone game to come start in the second half, looking for him to be the hero. But again, I'm starting to see some things. I think there's some blame game going on here where folks ain't being held accountable as far as what's happening. Because there was a point in time Alabama State could have went for it on 4th and 2, and they didn't. You had discord on the sideline between, I believe, there's the offensive coordinator and the head coach. Who's calling the plays? I'm just going to ask this question again. Please tell me who's calling the plays for Alabama State, because I don't think it's the offensive coordinator. I really don't. I think there's some vetoing going on here and not just letting these coaches coach these kids up, call a daggone game the way it needs to be called. Call the game the way it needs to be called, and let's move forward. Alabama State left too many daggone points on the field. You had a miscue on your daggone 2-point conversion. You had a missed field goal. You had a missed daggone extra point kick. That's 6 points right there you left on the field. I'm just saying. And I mean, again, the defense played lights out. Now, on the other side of the ball, I got to give it up to Savion Wilkerson because he toted the heck out that. Savion Wilkerson ran the ball 19 times for 88 yards. Not only that, but Shedeur Sanders, you got to give him credit as well. He took advantage of that cover 0 defense that Alabama State ran, and he burnt them every time they did it. Threw the ball 45 times, complete 30 for 332 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and was sacked twice. Remember, another thing I also stated to you guys, I said Shedeur Sanders would throw for 300 yards. He threw over 300 yards. Again, all I'm saying is there were certain little things that I saw within how everything played out. I was like, okay, this is going to happen. Look at Alabama State's offense. Their offense was just all out of sorts. I mean, you rushed the ball. You had 39 plays total on offense. You rushed the ball, I believe, 22 times. You threw the ball another 17 times. Out of the 22 times, I believe Santos Dunn had maybe 9 rushes. Excuse me. I'm being generous saying 9. I think Santos might have had 6. And I'm sitting there like, why aren't you feeding your daggone running back? If you got the elements over there, earth, wind, and fire, they should be getting that ball at a high clip, running that daggone thing down their throat. Had daggone Alabama State went ahead and used that clock like they should have, instead of getting so freaking happy with, oh, we're going to go ahead and nuke them down the field. Bro, come on, man. Get it going. You saw how aggressive Jackson State was on the defense. You could have went ahead and used that to your advantage. A few times you did, and then you got away from it. So, again, this was one of them games where I just sat there and I just shook my head like, this is unreal. You got to give it up to Willie Gaines, who had 4 receptions for 65 yards, 1 touchdown. Kevin Coleman had a touchdown. J.D. Marshall had a touchdown. I mean, everybody was contributing, doing their thing out there on the field for Jackson State in this game. Miles Crowley, at one point in time, when I believe he was like 7 for 8, and then all of a sudden they started trying to go down the field a little bit more and do more with the ball. A couple of times they weren't able to, pull those receptions in. He went 10 for 17 for 78 yards. He had one interception and 1 fumble that was recovered for the touchdown that gave them the last score that they had on the board. Now, Demetrius Davis, he went 6 for 9. He had 60 yards and 1 touchdown. He was sacked twice. But the young man was out the game. So, like I said again, I'm hoping he's not injured bad. I hope he's okay. But it still left me wondering. I'm like, if you out there on that sideline with your helmet on, your shoulder pads on, looking like you ready to go back in the game, why this man ain't playing? Again, I'm trying to understand, like, what in the world is going on over there on that sideline. I don't think the offensive coordinator is making them calls on that offense. I'm going to be real with you right now. Looking at that, and I got a steal here for you. It was like 13 minutes to go in the third quarter, where you got the quarterback, and I believe that's the offensive coordinator, standing there next to one another, and he's sitting there looking like, man, what in the world? What's going on? Run this play. It's 4th and 2. We can get this to keep the momentum going. Had they went ahead and moved that daggone ball and got that first down, we don't know what this game would have looked like. But you know what? Again, if was a fifth. We're going to say it again. So I'm not going to if y'all to death with all of that. The bottom line is there's a lot of confusion that's going on with that offense as far as what are they looking to do, what the identity is going to be. They have some assets over there on that offensive side of the ball that can really get out there and do some things. I mean, you got some receivers out there as well that can catch that rock and make it happen. Like I said, Keyshawn Johnson, he got out there. He caught him a pass. He had 4 receptions for 49 yards and 1 touchdown pass. So you got to give these kids their props on what they're doing out there. Andre Salter, he scored a rushing touchdown. Is the lineman that got the touchdown fumble recovery in the end zone. Alabama State plays Mississippi Valley State next week, who is coming into Montgomery without a win. So I'm going to tell you now, this team is going to come in there looking hungry, looking to get their first win of the season. So Alabama State, I hope y'all ready to play them next week. And you got Jackson State versus Bethune-Cookman. So we're going to see more great football coming down the pipe. But guys, leave your comments below and let me know what your thoughts were on that 31-10 prediction that Coach gave you. Y'all came for my neck, so I want to know what y'all got to say about it. But guys, we're going to go ahead and get up on out of here, man. But until next time, be the one and lead.